We've recently taken into stock the new Moonraker SWR-777 VSWR meter. It's a little bit different from normal meters. I mean, obviously it's digital, but it's got some features which are a little bit unusual. So let's take a look and see if this might fit into your station. We look on the back of the box. It says that it covers 1.8 to 250 megahertz, so that's 160 meter band up to the 2 meter band. It handles 210 watts. The VSWR accuracy is plus or minus 5%, and the power reading accuracy is plus or minus 10%, which is typical of most VSWR meters. Now, it's a digital meter, so on the front you've got a display, and I'll fire that up in a minute so you can see it's a full colour display. You've got three legends on the left: alert, full and charge. Then below those you've got three LED lights, which I'll explain shortly. And then at the bottom you've got down, up and button there, which has got M and an on-off sign. That button there switches the unit on and off. Again, I'll cover that shortly. If we turn the unit round, you'll see that we've got what we'd expect: a pair of SO239 sockets, one for the antenna, the other for the transceiver. Then you've got the master on-off switch there, and you've got a USB-C socket there. The reason that you've got the USB socket is because the unit has got a built-in battery. It's a rechargeable battery, which means to say you don't need to connect the VSWR meter to an external supply. It uses its internal battery, which is rated at 1000 milliamp hours, so it should last for quite a long time. Now I'll switch it on from the rear and you'll see the display light up in a second. It takes a couple of seconds to fire up, and there we are, we've got the display ready to go. Now, for the purpose of this test, I'm going to use my Yaesu FTX1 as the driver, feeding that into the SWR-777, which in turn goes into a dummy load. I first set the FTX1 to FM 10 watts. The reason I put it on FM is because it gives me a steady carrier. So we're getting, what, 9.0, dead on 10 watts, 9.9, 10 watts. Who's going to argue over that? With a 1-to-1 VSWR, 10 watts coming out of the transceiver. At least that's what Yaesu say. So it's really bang on, isn't it? 9.9, 10 watts. The transceiver says 10 watts and the meter says 9.9 and occasionally 10 watts. So I'm happy with that. Now we can change screens by pressing this right hand button here, and if we press this we can come to a somewhat interesting screen. You see it's got top item is forward power, but the next one down is antenna power. So what's that? If I press the transmit button, you'll see that we get exactly the same. Forward power and antenna power exactly the same. What does that mean? So why have you got these two readings? Well, it's quite interesting actually. The top reading is forward power, which is quite normal, tells you what the forward power is. But the reading below that, antenna power, what the unit does, it looks at the VSWR, calculates how much power you're losing because of the VSWR, and says that's the amount of power that you're feeding to the antenna. It doesn't actually tell you what power arrives at the antenna because it can't possibly know how much coax cable you've got. But at least it tells you what power you're delivering to the antenna because of the VSWR loss. So let me put this, or let me connect it up to a pretty awful antenna, and we'll demonstrate and see how much power we're actually losing, or what we're delivering to the antenna because of the VSWR loss. Well, I've now plugged in a pretty poor antenna on 20 meters, and let's see what we get. Right, we go on to transmit. We haven't got a particularly good VSWR. I'm going to take a still of this and we'll discuss what we see on the screen. I'm delivering a power output of 22.9 watts into a VSWR, which is shown near the bottom of 2.6 to 1. And the meter says that I'm delivering 18.4 watts output, taking into account the VSWR loss. You'll also see that it actually shows what the power loss is, or the reflected power, On the left hand side near the bottom you've got a reflected power of 4.5, and interestingly on the opposite side there you've got EFF, which stands for efficiency, and that indicates an efficiency of 81%. So some interesting data on the screen there. You find out how much power you're delivering from the transceiver, you find out how much power you're losing because of VSWR, and it shows you the net power that you're delivering into the coax feed to your antenna. Now this meter's got a few more tricks up its sleeve. If I switch it on and while it's booting up press this button here on the left hand side, I can actually correct any power errors. In other words, if I find that this meter is not absolutely accurate, say for example I put 10 watts into it and it's only reading 9.9 and 9.8, I can actually adjust the scale, and that's a linear adjustment, so it'll affect the whole range. Let me show you. I'm going to switch it on and I'm going to hold the correction button for the forward power. I'll hold this in. Now you see we've got zero correction at the moment, but we can adjust it down or up, and then we would save it in the memory by pressing this button here, and now it's saved. There we are. And we can do exactly the same with the VSWR by pressing the next button along, holding this in, and there we are, we get the correction adjustment for VSWR. Now I thought that was quite a useful function. I found this sample I've got was reading slightly high, so I went in and adjusted the forward power. The VSWR seemed to be okay. What I did was I did check it using one of the bird through lines, which are super accurate, and I found that the unit was reading slightly high power. It's well within its plus or minus 10%, but I wanted it to be dead accurate, so I adjusted it to so that it read exactly the same as the bird through line. Interestingly enough, I found that the Yaesu FTX1 power setting was very, very accurate indeed, and I suspect that most modern transceivers are likewise very accurate. But anyway, it's handy to be able to adjust the VSWR meter if you've got the facility in order to make it really super accurate. You may have noticed that when I transmit, one of these LED lights up, this one here on the right, the red one, that indicates that the VSWR is over 2.5 to 1. The middle one is when the VSWR is between 1.5 to 2.5, and the left hand one is when the VSWR is below 1.5 to 1. So it gives you a quick indication of if you've got a high or medium or acceptable VSWR. Now here's another quite useful feature. You can have a warning sign, a warning signal if you've got a high VSWR. At the moment you can see I've got a high VSWR, the red light comes on, but I might not be looking at the red light, so I'm not aware that the VSWR has suddenly gone up. But if I press this button briefly, I've set the alarm. Now when I transmit, it'll give me a warning. Yeah. See, it's warning me that I've got a high VSWR. And I can just press that again, switch it off. Still got high VSWR, but the alarm doesn't sound. You've got a number of different screens you can flick through. This is the basic screen, and you can see at the top you've got two horizontal bars which indicates the forward power and the VSWR, which is the sort of standard type of display that you're probably used to, but the fact that you've got the digital display in larger figures makes it very useful. I just go through the various displays that you can get. And there we are, back to the original display. So you've got quite a few displays to play around with. Another thing you can do is to actually adjust the time that the display stays on before it shuts down. And if you hold this button here for about 2 seconds, let's release it. We can now adjust the time that the display remains live until it switches itself off. And also, when it switches itself off, if you've still got the main power on, as soon as you run any power from the transceiver, it will switch the display back on. So, for example, you could be chatting away, you've forgotten you've got the VSWR meter on, you've gone downstairs, taken a telephone call, had a cup of tea, had a meal, and suddenly thought, wait a minute, I didn't switch the unit off. Well, it switches itself off, and the current drain is incredibly low once it's switched itself off to standby. In the normal course of events, what you'd do is you switch it off on the main switch there. Well, all in all, I think it's quite a clever little unit. I'm quite taken by it. It's very compact, of course, but it does an awful lot of things. It's nice to have a digital display. It's nice to know how much power you're actually losing, and all in all, I think it's quite a convenient little VSWR meter. So we've got those in stock at the moment. Well, the other anomaly which I would mention is that on the packaging it says that it's 210 watts, but actually in the specification it's actually only rated at 110 watts. Now I think that if you run more power through it, like 200 watts, you're not going to damage it, but the reading only goes up to about 110 watts. So basically, if you've got an HF transceiver, 100 watt transceiver, it's going to suit you down to the ground. If you've got a linear, then this obviously won't do the linear, but most linears have got power meters on them anyway. So what I normally do is I have the HF transceiver, have the power meter in series with the feed to the linear. If the linear's off, then I'm getting the true reading going through to the antenna. If you've got linear on, then I'm getting the reading on here, but the true power coming out is indicated by the linear. So there we are. Anyway, hope you've found this informative. I was quite impressed with it. In the meantime, you enjoy your ham radio, you take care, and we'll be back with another video fairly shortly. Take care.